This video is of course inspired by Simply Neological's Polish Mountain trend. I've also seen people doing 100 coats of mascara, 100 coats of lipstick, so I decided why not make a slime using over 100 tubes of glue. I'll be using the same recipe from my bubble crystal slime video, so be sure to watch that here to learn the method. You can make the slime using household ingredients that are easily found in every single country. So my inspiration behind this video was a viral clip from the Instagram account Slime Bakery, which you might have even seen yourself. It shows a giant Tupperware box filled with rainbow slime and is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. I really wanted to see more of that slime, but sadly there weren't any more clips of it on Instagram. So I decided that the next best thing would just be to remake the slime myself.
Hi guys! So I'm in my office right now and I'm going to try to make a giant slime big enough to fill this Tupperware box. So I got some food coloring, I got some bowls, and I bought $400 worth of glue. As you can see, this is the glue that I always use to make my slime, but instead of using 1 or 2 tubes, we're going to use 140 to make a giant slime. So be sure to keep on watching to see how it turns out.
So the first step of this DIY is to do some maths. I normally use half a teaspoon of baking soda for 1 tube of glue, which contains 30 grams or 1 ounce of liquid. I'm just checking how many teaspoons are inside one packet. It turns out there's enough for 10 tubes of glue, which means I need 14 packets of baking soda to make my slime mountain.
So I'm back. I bought 15 packets of baking soda, which will be enough for all the glue we have. I caught some Pokemon, and I got my lunch, because I think this could be a long afternoon.
Now it's time to get started with the glue. I ordered all of this over Amazon and the total was about 385 euros. I know lots of viewers are probably thinking, why on earth would you waste that much money on a DIY? So I just want to make it clear that keeping you guys entertained is my #1 priority, and I'm more than happy to spend money on that if needed. This video is really just for fun and it's not a DIY that people are genuinely supposed to do themselves at home. However, you can easily make a smaller version of this slime as shown in my previous crystal slime DIY. Under that same video, there was a comment that was really highly upvoted, and unfortunately I can't seem to find it now, but it's by a viewer who said that they can never afford to buy craft supplies. I know that's an issue with many of my subscribers because you might be too young for a credit card or not allowed to use PayPal. So that's why you should definitely check out App Bounty, which is something I've already mentioned in several of my other videos. This is a brilliant app that lets you earn Amazon gift cards in exchange for completing tasks. It's entirely free to use and it's absolutely legitimate because they get the money from the companies that want people testing out their apps. They've already paid over $3,500 worth of gift cards to my subscribers who heard about it in my other videos. The download link is below and be sure to use my code CUTE when you first log in to get some free points. You can watch one of these 2 videos for more details or leave any questions you have down below. So back to the glue. I basically squeezed out 10 tubes and then added 1 packet of baking soda. Then I repeated this process until everything was divided up into 6 bowls. This took more than 2 hours because the tubes are quite small, so you have to press really hard and wait for a while before all the glue comes out. So by the time I squeezed out all of these tubes, my hands were hurting quite a bit. You can see that I ended up with a bruise on my thumb and actually had a blister on another finger. Now that everything is divided up into 6 bowls, it's time to add some food coloring to make our rainbow slime. I realized that 1 drop is more than enough for 1 bowl, so if you want to make a pastel slime, then be sure to use a very tiny amount. Then simply stir until everything is well blended. I'm not going to worry about air bubbles here because this slime is so big that it's definitely going to end up with a ton of bubbles anyway. If you accidentally add too much food coloring like I did with the purple here, then you can lift the ink away using a tissue before it's fully mixed in. Next, start adding the contact lens liquid. I definitely recommend using contact lens solution for larger slime DIYs because eye drops will end up being way too expensive. I used 120 milliliters or 4 liquid ounces for each bowl of slime, which was about 1/3 of this bottle. It will be quite sticky at first, but just keep on adding contact lens liquid and use your hands to mix it, almost like you're kneading bread dough. After a while, you'll feel the mixture become thicker and bouncier. Then repeat this with each of the colors. If you feel the slime start to stick to your skin or the bowl, just add some more contact lens liquid and that will keep everything slippery. Since there's so much glue here, don't be afraid to add quite a lot of contact lens liquid to begin with. You should see the glue start to clump together right away. If this doesn't happen and the glue stays liquid, then it means you used the wrong type of glue which doesn't contain any PVA. Unfortunately, this means that you just have to start again, so it's definitely a good idea to test out a small bit of the glue before starting a large slime DIY, or use a brand that you know definitely works. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes of mixing to get a good slime texture from each bowl of glue. I absolutely love how the blue one turned out because it has the perfect frozen color. Of course, instead of making all 6 colors, you can simply buy enough glue to make one bowl like this. A slime this size contains about 23 tubes of glue and it's so much fun to play with. If you keep this inside an airtight box, then it stays soft for a long time. And if you leave it alone for a while, then the slime will even start turning crystal clear. Now it's time to put everything into one big container. It definitely helps to keep some contact lens solution nearby because this prevents the slime from sticking to your hands or the plastic. The first box I used ended up being too small, so I had to transfer everything over to a larger box. However, this part of pouring slime is literally one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. Packing everything inside was surprisingly difficult because I'm trying to get the slime into rows, but each color spreads out so quickly. This is another reason I don't use water in my slime recipes. A lot of DIYs tell you to add water with the glue in the first step, but I find that makes the slime even more liquidy and it also tends to get dirty quite quickly. And lastly, I'm just adding some leftover slime to make the colors look nicer at the very top. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It looks almost identical to the giant rainbow slime from Instagram and I really can't wait to play with it. You can always use a bit of contact lens liquid to prevent it from sticking. I love how glossy this looks and has such a beautiful shiny surface. The colors blend together perfectly and it's so relaxing to look at. Obviously, the rainbow colors will eventually get mixed together, so if you want to keep your slime for longer, then it might be best to keep the colors separate. Since I made this using my crystal slime recipe, I'm actually really curious to see if this can turn transparent if I leave it long enough. There are loads of air bubbles in here, so I don't know how long that'll take, or if the colors will end up blending with each other before then. If you want to see what happens to this giant slime, then be sure to follow me on Instagram or Snapchat where I'll be posting the updates. I'll upload regular video clips of this over the next few weeks so we can see whether it turns clear or not. So I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to check out @Bounty if you want to get gift cards for craft supplies. For those living in the USA and use Amazon.com, I've linked all the supplies you need to make a smaller version of this crystal slime in the description box below. You can easily get that with a $20 gift card from @Bounty. Other viewers can simply search for similar items to their local Amazon website. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to Cute Life Hacks and my second channel, Macaroon, for more fun and unusual DIYs. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye!